The Healing Revolution: Why Black Women's Wellness Demands a New Approach. 3 years ago, I had the extraordinary privilege of sitting down with Mimi Frazier, a visionary whose work in holistic healing has transformed countless lives across the country. What struck me most about our conversation wasn't just her impressive credentials or the groundbreaking wellness initiative she's launched. It was the quiet revolution she's igniting, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about Black women's healing journeys. Mimi isn't just a wellness advocate, she's a paradigm shifter, a truth teller, a woman who has looked at centuries of expectations placed on Black women's shoulders and said with gentle but unwavering conviction, enough. Her work has created safe harbors for thousands of women who never knew they were allowed to prioritize their own healing. She's what happens when wisdom meets courage, meets radical compassion. The insights Mimi shared that day fundamentally changed my understanding of what true healing looks like, especially for Black women navigating a world that rarely makes space for their pain, their rest, or their restoration. Have you ever noticed how we glorified the woman who pushes through, the one who shows up to work the day after losing a loved one? The one who smiles through chronic pain, the one who carries everyone else's burdens while silently drowning under her own. We've created a culture that celebrates Black women's capacity to endure suffering rather than their right to heal from it. And that's exactly what we need to dismantle. When I asked Mimi what initially drove her passion for this work, she paused. That pause contained multitudes. It held the weight of generations of women who were never permitted to prioritize their own well being. Women who were told that strength meant silence, resilience meant resistance to rest. The most revolutionary act a Black woman can commit, she finally said, is to heal openly, honestly, and without apology. Those words hit me like lightning because they challenge the very foundation of how we've been conditioned to view wellness, particularly for Black women. Think about it. When was the last time you witnessed a Black woman in your life completely fall apart without immediately trying to put herself back together? When was the last time you saw her take a mental health day without guilt? When was the last time you heard her say, I'm not okay and I need help? For too many, the answer is never. And that's not because Black women don't experience breakdown, burnout, or trauma. It's because they've been conditioned to believe they don't have permission to heal from it. This is where Mimi's first crucial insight comes in. Healing is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. Black women often carry unique burdens from societal pressures, trauma, illness, and life's tribulations. Embracing a holistic approach to health means nurturing every part of yourself, body, mind, and soul, to truly recover and thrive. Let me share something powerful that's happening in Chicago right now. Sister Afia, founded by Kamisha Jones, is revolutionizing mental wellness for Black women. After her own battle with bipolar disorder revealed glaring gaps in culturally competent care, Kamesha built an organization offering affordable, culturally relevant mental health services specifically for Black women. The beauty of Sister Afia isn't just in its accessibility, though that matters profoundly in communities where therapy has long been a luxury few could afford. The true magic lies in creating spaces where Black women don't have to explain themselves, where they don't have to translate their experiences, where they can simply exhale and be understood. The results? Hundreds of women report not just improved coping skills, but a profound sense of being seen and understood, perhaps for the first time in their healing journeys. The isolation that once defined their struggles has been replaced by community, by connection, by the revolutionary act of collective healing. This brings me to Mimi's second insight: no one heals alone. We've romanticized the solitary journey of the strong Black woman who needs no one. But that narrative isn't just false, it's actively harmful. Healing happens in community. It happens when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm hurting, and brave enough to hear someone else say, me too. Dr. Joy Harden Bradford understood this when she founded Therapy for Black Girls, an online platform connecting Black women with therapists who share their cultural background or specialize in issues they face. What began as a resource has blossomed into a movement, with podcast episodes reaching millions monthly and thousands finding therapists who truly understand the unique intersection of their identities and experiences. When I mentioned this platform to Mimi during our interview, she nodded emphatically. What Dr. Bradford has created, she said, is more than a service. It's a sanctuary, a place where Black women can exhale, perhaps for the first time, and say things they've never had permission to say before. That permission to speak, to feel, to heal is revolutionary in itself. But here's where things get really interesting. Mimi's third insight might be the most powerful of all. Your story has power. By owning your narrative and sharing your healing process authentically, you empower both yourself and those around you. Consider the journey of entrepreneur Mimi Makele, who transformed personal tragedy into collective healing through her TikTok platform. After losing both business partners and close family members during the uncertainty of the COVID era, she began documenting her grief journey online, not with toxic positivity, but with raw honesty about the process of rebuilding after devastation. Her daily affirmations about resilience and self love, alongside practical tips for rebuilding confidence post trauma, resonated deeply. Thousands of comments poured in from viewers crediting her vulnerability as the catalyst for their own healing journeys. This is the alchemy that happens when we dare to share our stories. Our wounds become wisdom, not just for ourselves, but for everyone witnessing our journey. But let's be honest, this kind of vulnerability isn't easy. It requires dismantling generations of conditioning that told Black women their pain was a burden, their struggles were shameful, and their healing was a luxury they couldn't afford. During our conversation, Mimi Frazier shared something I'll never forget. She said, the world has taught Black women that their value lies in their productivity, their sacrifice, their ability to endure. I'm here to tell them their value lies in their humanity, messy, imperfect, and worthy of every resource required for healing. That statement challenges everything our society has built around Black women's worth. It suggests that healing isn't something to be earned through suffering, it's a birthright to be claimed without qualification or apology. So, what does this mean for you listening right now? It means permission to prioritize your healing as fiercely as you've prioritized everything and everyone else. It means understanding that true strength isn't found in endurance alone, but in the courage to say, I need to rest now. It means recognizing that community isn't a luxury in your healing journey, it's a necessity. And perhaps most importantly, it means knowing that your story, with all its pain, its triumph, its ongoing struggles, has the power to light the way for someone else still finding their path to wholeness. As Mimi told me, when one Black woman heals, she creates a ripple effect that touches everyone in her orbit. Her children learn that healing is possible. Her friends witness what self care really looks like. Her community sees what's possible when we prioritize wellness over productivity. That ripple effect is how revolutions begin. I want to leave you with a challenge, one that Mimi Frazier posed to me at the end of our interview, and one that I've carried with me ever since. Unapologetically prioritize at least one act each week dedicated solely to your own healing. Whether it's journaling your emotions honestly, scheduling time with supportive friends, seeking out community space like Sister Afia, or therapy for Black girls, or reaching out for professional guidance. Commit to it without guilt or justification. Let this be your permission slip to honor every part of yourself. Because here's the truth that Mimi Frazier's work has illuminated so powerfully. The revolution we need most urgently isn't happening in the streets, it's happening in therapy offices, in support groups, in quiet moments of self reflection, in brave conversations where Black women say, I'm not okay, and the world finally listens. It's happening every time a Black woman chooses her healing over her hustle, her peace over her productivity, her wholeness over others' expectations. And that revolution, it changes everything. I want you to imagine a world where Black women's healing is not just permitted, but celebrated. A world where their rest is protected as fiercely as their labor has been exploited. A world where their vulnerability is seen not as weakness, but as the profound courage it truly is. That world isn't some distant utopia. It's being built right now by women like Kamisha Jones, Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, Mimi McHale, and countless others who have decided that the old narratives no longer serve us. But they can't build it alone. This revolution requires all of us to challenge the expectations we place on Black women in our lives, to create spaces where their healing is prioritized, to recognize when we're perpetuating harmful patterns that demand strength without offering support. And if you are a Black woman listening to this right now, I want you to hear me clearly. Your healing is not selfish, it is sacred, it is necessary, it is revolutionary. The world has benefited from your strength for generations. Now it's time for you to benefit from your softness, to claim the rest, the care, the gentleness you've so freely given to others. Because a healed Black woman doesn't just transform her own life, she transforms families, communities, institutions, the world. And that transformation begins with a single radical act, the decision to heal, openly and without apology. The question isn't whether you deserve this healing. You do. The question is, are you ready to claim it? Because when you do, you don't just change your own story. You change the story for every Black woman who comes after you. And that might be the most powerful revolution of all.